Hola, minasan! Welcome back for another round of Magic Analytics. There we go. We got that. See, I knew we'd get that. today, Coqui-san here. Today with this unopened box of Fae Dominion from the Wilds of Eldraine set Commander box. This is a blue-black deck. Commander deck. The commander is known as Tagwill. I still can't pronounce it. Tagwill, Duke of Splendor. Sounds splendid. I don't know if this is a guy or a girl, a guy or a gal, but the last I checked, you don't call female titles dukes. You call them duchesses. That's why I can't understand the emperor not being called the empress. But hey, you know what? It's fantasy, so you know we've seen some weird titles that get thrown out in fantasy stories and science fiction stories. So hey, you know what I mean? But don't want to waste too much time. Want to crack this whole box open and let's see what's coming into this. So. Let's see here. I'm gonna do it right here, right now. Watch this. Oh, I screwed up. There goes my trick. And the flowers remain standing. Here we go. So what's in this package here? Aside from the deck. There we go. This is a very nice. You know, these boxes are getting a little bit more better, I gotta say. Here we go. Just sit that right there. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Look at this. Okay, we got some stuff here. Ooh, we got some tokens here. I love these tokens, especially the +1/+1s. Very helpful with the +1/+1s. And underneath here is the deck. Alright, let's slide that out. Tagwill, Duke of Splendor. This is actually not bad. So, blue and black is not my strong suit color, but I figured I start loading up on blue and black because I needed some variety. Red is also my my other weak color. My weakest colors is red, black, and blue. Green and white are my strongest colors. I don't know what that magic term is for those who follow green and white. Magic got some weird terms these days, but it's not a big deal or anything. This might be a poison counter I'm dealing with here, but so I decided, to try and try and do a little bit more with blue and black. Basically, I only have two decks that two commander decks that are entirely focused. That has black in the forefront, and I only have two where blue's in the forefront. So I figured, maybe do another blue deck. To update for those of you as I remove these things, there's a bit of a shakeup with my commander decks, as I've noted the last time. Shotokai Genesis Engine commander, because of the lack of pilots. I mean, I found out where the pilots are, but they're majority red instead of blue or black. So I gotta make another rainbow deck out of it. But what I did was I had to juggle up, do a lot of shifting between a couple of decks. So Shotokai Genesis Engine is no longer my commander for my commander deck, which is very disappointing because I like the idea of having a gun for a Gundam for a commander. It's so unique and distinct instead of having humanoids. But instead I replaced him with Hana Ship's Navigator. Now what Hana Ship's Navigator does is she'll let you recur. Oh, interesting. she'll let you get out your enchantments and artifacts back from the graveyard. So that's why I picked her for the commander. I thought that was interesting. Especially since I'm been coming across a lot of blue cards that mill. And I do have artifacts that mill. So I might consider making that artificer deck with a mill deck. A blue-white mill deck. I'll have to see. But it's going to take some time. Then what I did was I took Shotokai and all the vehicles, and I moved them over to my Sisei Weatherlight Captain deck, commander deck, which is all about equipment creatures, lizards, using the reconfigure ability, the lizard's ability to attach them onto other creatures, and using the modification cards from Neon Dynasty as the focus. This is a pretty cool box here. I don't know why I'm pointing over there. It's a pretty cool box. Look at that. But then what happened was that over the weekend when I was playing in my commander pod, Sisei had a hard time bringing out the spirit dragons because my opponents were killing off the only 3 creatures I had that were legendary as per her ability. So I decided to take her out of that deck, replaced her with Kenrith, the Returned King, and then I threw the vehicles in there. I do have the pilots. I do have some pilots. I'm not sure how I'm going to fit them in at the moment because I have a lot of creatures that have reconfigure, lizards, and modifying. But I threw in all the vehicles, so there's gonna be a lot of things. So as for Sisei, because I don't want to see her go to waste, I'm gonna build a whole new deck for her with all the spirit dragons that I've gotten so far. I still need 2 more spirit dragons. That's Jugon and Kokusho. And there's still a few other spirit dragons. I do have Okakachi and Kyodai, so I'm gonna start putting those to use. In a Sisei deck. Sisei's going to be as the commander. She's going to draw out those dragons, but it's going to be spirit deck. It's going to be a full-on spirit deck. So I have a whole bunch of spirit creatures like no other. I do have a lot, so I'm going to be throwing spirit creatures into that deck and have it spirit focused. There we go. And have it spirit focused. We're going to crack this open. I finished building my Morska Undersea Sleuth commander deck. I decided to give it a try, but it was kind of janky. But that was only because I wanted to see what the detectives could do in a real match, in a real commander pod. And surprisingly enough, I was 1 farewell away from winning the game. Like, I was about to nuke everybody's artifacts and enchantments with farewell and hit everybody with all of my detectives. But unfortunately, my opponent had a counter spell and was able to stop farewell from happening, and I never recovered since from that, and I got blown away. But I ended up enjoying the detectives. Surprisingly enough, I didn't expect them to be that good with the manipulation of clue tokens. So Morska commander deck and my detective deck is now officially in my group, and I will do an official walkthrough later down the line. I'm still working on the deck now. Like, I'm putting in the counter spells, enchantments, and other stuff to make these guys to make the deck more potent. So as of now, in terms of the hard count, I'm at 12. I'm at 12. 12? Yeah, I believe I'm at 12 now. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm at 12. It's very easy. Yeah, so once I finish Sisei's deck, I will officially have 12 commander decks. So that's pretty much the update. And because of this mass shakeup, especially now that I have 2 new commanders, Hana and Kenrith, I'll probably have to do a whole new walkthrough, and as well as the newly newly redone spirit deck. There's gonna be a whole new walkthrough basically. So there's gonna be a whole new set of walkthroughs. Get ready for that. I won't do them back to back because I do want to continue doing the pre-con thing. But yeah, we're gonna see. But I'm definitely gonna make sure I cover those and get you all up to date. As for this here, Fae Dominion, I have found out that I got a whole bunch of fairy cards, and so I may consider doing the fairy deck, because I was kind of shocked. I was like looking at all these fairy cards. I'm like, where the heck did I get all these from all these sets here? So I was like, oh, okay. I mean, we're talking about going all the way back to 5th edition, but Neon Dynasty and the pre-con decks that I had been buying, I've been getting fairies all over the place. So it's like, okay, you know what? I'll cover Fae Dominion and see if I can do a fairy deck. And so far, I think it's gonna end up happening, but we'll soon find out once I cover the analytics. So this is Wilds of Eldraine, which is like a fairy tale themed set. This is the booster sample pack that came with the commander. I just got this opened now. Nice and neat. And let's see what we got here. We have, it's kind of like a makeover montage for your commander deck. So whatever this is, I don't know. Alright, so we got Spectre of Morality, and we have Griffin Airy. So let's go on over here to the view shot. Right over here. There we go. Okay. There we go. Alright, so here's Spectre of Morality. It's a Spectre, an Inspector Spectre, a Spectre Detector. Oh my gosh, I'm about to have a nice little thing happening here in a second. Hey, there we go. Thank you, Shy Guys Entertainment, for the raid. Thank you very much. Welcome to the show, everybody. Just about to get ready for the next steps here. We're looking at these two collector booster sample packs from Wilds of Eldraine. And what did I get in there? I got Spectre of Morality, 3 mana, 2 black. Creature Spectre, flying. When Spectre of Morality enters the battlefield, you may exile 1 or more creature cards from your graveyard. When you do, each other creature gets at -X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards exiled this way. Raid kills bugs dead. Welcome, Shy Guy. Thank you for the raid. Thank you. Over here on the kick side. Thank you very much. I hope everybody oh, okay. That's no problem. Yes, doing magic analytics right now with Wilds of Eldraine, Fae Dominion pre-con deck. I'm about to do the walkthrough, but first off, I need people to see this one here that I got from this special booster pack. Griffin Airy, 1 mana and a white enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, create a 2/2 white Griffin creature token with flying. This is going into Sithis. Sithis is going to enjoy this because, oh my gosh, I'll always gain 3 or more life in my Sithis deck. 3 or more life. So my Sithis deck is about to get even more nastier. Very excellent card here. So let's start the walkthrough. Get that. It's a very nice thing. You also use Sithis? Awesome, fellow Sithis fans. Oh man. So we're gonna see. See what these cards can do. That's in this this pre-con, and then we're gonna break down the whole entire deck and find out just how good this deck really is. Do the full breakdown. Look at this lovely, lovely plastic covering that came with the pre-con. Oh man, here we go. Get that in there. I don't need no garbage. Your main commander is Osgear. What is Osgear? Osgear. This will take 5 seconds. Osgear. Osgear the Grouch. Giant Artificer. Oh, you got an Artificer deck. Okay. Vigilance. Or yes. Osgear the Grouch. Legendary creature, Giant Artificer. For 2 mana, red and a white. Let's bring up the view screen here. You got a Vigilance. For 1 mana, sacrifice an artifact. You turn target creature you control gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Oh wow, you can really pump that up. Oh wow. Oh wow. It's too bad he's a red. Oh dang. Oh dang. That's actually pretty. That's a pretty tight card. Oh man. Put that in the detective deck. Put that in the detective deck with all those clue tokens because they're all artifacts, and sacrifice all those clue tokens for 1 mana cost. Yeah, you can break a Soul Ring to get 2 Soul Rings. Yeah, you're right, man. For X tap, exile artifact card mana veil X from your graveyard. Create 2 tokens that are copies of the exiled card. Activate only as a sorcery. That's tight, man. Yeah, 2 Soul Rings permanently. That is pretty impressive. That's a pretty impressive card, man. Oh, dang, that's scary. So, let's begin with the walkthrough. Here's the commander. Oh, I like these. I like these solid ones here. They're pretty good. These are pretty good. Let's throw that over there. All right. We starting off with Tegwill, Duke of Splendor, the commander of this precon. Legendary creature, fairy noble, flying, death touch. Other fairies you control get +1/+1. Whenever another fairy you control dies, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. That's actually pretty. That's pretty good. That's actually pretty good. Anytime you could draw a card and it's only 1 life, so it's not too bad. Flying, death touch, and this is. And the cost to cast is 1 mana, a blue, and a black. That is actually pretty tight. That's actually pretty tight. That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good card there. Next up is Alela, Cunning Conqueror. 2 mana, a blue, and a black. Legendary creature, fairy warlock. Flying. Whenever you cast your first spell during each opponent's turn, create a 1/1 black fairy rogue creature token with flying. Whenever 1 or more fairies you control deal combat damage to a player, goad target creature that player controls. Not bad. That's not too bad. You get some creatures and you get to force them to attack. If you have the right type of beefy creatures, you can make them. Yeah. Archmage of Echoes, 4 mana and a blue creature, fairy wizard, flying, ward 2. Whenever you cast a fairy or wizard permanent spell, copy it. The copy becomes a token. I have a lot of copy cards. I might be able to do something with that. Malleable Imposter, 3 mana and a blue creature, fairy shapeshifter, flash, flying. You may have Malleable Imposter enter the battlefield as a copy of a creature an opponent controls, except it's a fairy shapeshifter in addition to its other types, and it has flying. It looks like copy cards right now on the outset is one of its strong suits. That's going to be very scary. Misleading Signpost. That's hilarious. This signposts. 2 mana and a blue artifact. Flash. When Misleading Signpost enters the battlefield, during the declare attacker step, you may reselect which player or permanent target attacking creature is attacking. It can't attack its controller or their permanent. Tap and add blue. Oh, cool. So it's a mana rock that can actually redirect combat. That's actually that's pretty good. That's actually pretty good. And you get a mana rock on top of that. Shadow Puppeteers, 6 mana and a blue fairy wizard, flying, ward 2. When Shadow Puppeteers enter the battlefield, create 2 1/1 black fairy rogue creature tokens with flying. Whenever a creature you control flying attacks, you may have it become a red dragon with base power and toughness 4/4 in addition to its other colors and types until end of turn. And it's any creature with flying. Oh, wow. Okay. Could turn your birds into dragon birds. Blightwing Bandit, 3 mana and a black. It's a fairy rogue, flying death touch. Whenever you cast your first spell during each opponent's turn, look at the top card of that player's library, then exile it face down. You may play that card for as long as it remains exiled, and mana of any type can be spent to cast it. Oh, okay, okay. So you can steal. Yeah, it's one of those theft cards. 2/2 creature. It seems like all the fairies are, yeah, they kind of like 4/4s, 2/2s so far. Fairy Blade Crafter, 2 mana and a black, fairy rogue, flying. Whenever one or more fairies you control deal combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on Fairy Blade Crafter. When Fairy Blade Crafter dies, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life where X is its power. 2/2 creature. Okay, that's fine. Let's see here. Netling Nuisance. 2 mana in the black, fairy rogue, flying. Whenever one or more fairies you control deal combat damage to a player, that player creates a 4/2 red pirate creature token. Oh, with this creature can't block. The token is goaded for the rest of the game. It attacks each combat if able and attacks a player other than you if able. 3/1 creature. I've been noticing though that many of the fairy creatures. Many of the fairy creatures have one mana color to cast a cost. One black, one blue, one blue. This is a very interesting typeset here, because the reason why I say that is because I have the Jet Medallion, which reduces generic mana by 1, and if I get the what's the name of that medallion? The other one. The blue one. I totally forget. Let's see, medallion. Okay. Med. Let's see here. Oh, it's not gonna help me find the medallion. Oh, that stinks. It's the blue one. I completely forgot the name of that medallion. Was it the Ice Medallion? Here's Jet Medallion. You know what? I'll just copy paste the word medallion. There we go. Since I misspelled it. Let's see here. Sapphire Medallion. I never got those. I got the Emerald. Let me show you. Yeah, so I have the Ruby, Pearl, Jet, and Emerald. I never got the Sapphire Medallion. So if I do have the Jet Medallion, so if I get that along with the Sapphire Medallion, then I can reduce those generic mana costs on those spell cards by 1, and that'll help me cast these all these fairies that only need 1 blue mana and 1 black mana. So dropping them will be immense. It'll be immense to be able to drop them without so much effort. Sol Rings. I probably may need the Sol Rings if I were to build a deck out of this. Here's Tegwill's Scouring. 4 mana and 2 black sorcery. You may cast Tegwill's Scouring as though it had flash by tapping 3 untapped creatures you control flying in addition to paying its other costs. Destroy all creatures. Create 3 1/1 black fairy rogue creature tokens with flying. Oh, okay. So I can still cast it normally, but if I want to cast it as if it has flash, then I'd have to tap creatures with flying, and then I get flying creatures in addition to it. I still get it either way, whether I do that or not, whether I treat it as flash or treat it as a sorcery. I still can't get a mental handle on this type of card. Brazen Borrower. Tongue twister. 1 mana 2 blue creature fairy rogue. It has this adventure instant called Petty Theft for 1 mana and a blue. Return target non-land permanent an opponent controls to its owner's hand. I still can't wrap my head around it, no matter how many times I watch the videos explaining it. It's got flash, flying, brazen barber, can block only creatures with flying. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there's a reason that does that. Dig through time, instant, 6 mana and 2 blue, delve. Each card you exile from your graveyard while casting this spell pays for 1 generic mana. Look at the top 7 cards of your library, put 2 of them into your hand, the rest in the bottom of your library in any order. This is actually pretty powerful because keep this in mind of the way it's phrased. It says, look at the top 7 cards, put 2 of them into your hand. Never mind. It doesn't go into the hand, sorry. This is a top deck type card. I thought it went into the hand like Brainstorm does. It doesn't do that. Because I'm like, wow, that's real powerful. Because I could just pick any card from my hand. No, only those 7 cards. Fairy Formation. This is one of the cards that I ended up getting from other sets. 4 mana in a blue, fairy flying. For 3 mana in a blue, create a 1/1 blue fairy creature token with flying. Draw a card, which is really powerful. If I were to build a fairy deck, and I most likely probably will, that's gonna go in there. Just for that, just to get more card drawing. Glen Elendra Archmage. 3 mana in the blue fairy wizard. Flying for blue, sacrifice the Archmage. Counter target non-creature spell. Persist. When this creature dies, if it had no -1/-1 counters on it, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a -1/-1 counter on it. I don't know how. I'll need to see it in action to understand what that does. Next up is Hullbreaker Horror. 5 mana and 2 blue, creature Kraken Horror. It's a 7/8 creature. Oh man. Flash. This spell can't be countered. Whenever you cast a spell, choose up to 1. Really? Whenever you cast a spell, it's not even this spell or this spell. It's a spell. Interesting. Return target spell you don't control to its owner's hand. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Interesting. And it can't be countered when played? Wow. Alright. Huh. I wonder if I could throw... Well, do I have enough room in my Satoru Umezawa deck? I'll have to think about that. That's actually a very, very powerful ability there. Any card, any spell, instant, you name it. Anything that's a spell. That's crazy. Illusionist Gambit, 2 mana and 2 blue, instant. Cast this spell only during the declare blocker step of an opponent's turn. Remove all attacking creatures from combat and untap them. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. Each of those creatures attack combat if able. They can't attack you or planeswalkers you control at combat. Okay, so this is a defensive move because I'm thinking of my Samurai Warriors deck, which does this exact type of thing. But this is actually in the reverse. Rather than me untapping my creatures and doing an attack, I'm causing my opponent to do that instead. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. Each of those creatures attacks that combat if able, but they can't attack me or planeswalkers I control that combat. That's nasty. So basically, it's a sort of like Swords of Revealing Light, I guess. No, not Swords of Revealing. I'm trying. What was that card that resets the combat phase in Yu-Gi-Oh? For comparisons, it's not bad, but the fact that they can't attack me. So this is really good for a commander deck. This is really good for commander podding. For a commander pod, your opponent is attacking you. Oh well, you're not gonna attack me, and you can't attack me. I'm gonna reset your combat. You can't attack me. You're gonna have to go somewhere else. Attack someone else. This is actually a pretty... I probably might put that in my detective deck after what happened. Midnight Clock, 2 mana and a blue artifact. Tap, add blue. For 2 mana and blue, put an hour counter on Midnight Clock. At the beginning of each upkeep, put an hour counter on Midnight Clock. When the 12th hour counter is put on Midnight Clock, shuffle your hand and graveyard into your library, then draw 7 cards, exile Midnight Clock. Okay. I guess it's a play on Cinderella. You gotta be back by 12 midnight. But that's not bad. And I don't have at the beginning. Okay. Oh, I can force it. I see. So either during the upkeep I put an hour clock, or I can force it with mana, and I still get a mana rock out of it, and then I get to shuffle my entire library. Okay, so then I might be able. Ooh, if I put in the right cards, if I put in the Diabolic or Demonic Tutor, if I put in my I think I have the Diabolic Tutor. I don't know if I still have Demonic Tutor, but if I were to build this deck and I put in the Diabolic or Demonic Tutor, whichever ones I got, I could search out for that Midnight Clock, and then I could just mill away. I could actually do a Fairy Mill deck out of this one. I can mill away and draw cards and everything, and I can always reset. I'll need to get Felden's Cane. Then that means I have to get a card like I have Felden's Cane. I got a bunch of those. Put that in there so that I can retrieve. And I gotta find other like-minded cards like that. Alright. I think I might be able to do a fairy deck after all. All about milling. Perplexing Test. 3 mana, 2 blue, instant. Choose one. Return all creature tokens to their owner's hands. Return all non-token creatures to their owner's hands. Oh, that's funny. To send the creature tokens to their owner's hands and non-token creatures to their owner's hands. That's interesting. Oh, there's too many tokens? Well, they're now removed from the game. Reflections of Littjara. Or is it Littjara? Well, Littjara, 4 mana on a blue enchantment. As Reflections of Littjara enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Whenever you cast a spell of the chosen type, copy that spell. It's another copy spell card. I'm liking the fact that I got these copy spell cards. I made my Sithis deck lean hard into copying with Lithoform Engine and such. Scion of Ona, 2 mana in a blue creature, fairy soldier, 1/1, flash, flying. Other fairy creatures you control get +1/+1. Other fairies you control have shroud. Ooh, that's actually pretty awesome. Oh my gosh, that's some muscle sliver level stuff going on here. Next up is Sower of Temptation, 2 mana and 2 blue creature, fairy wizard, 2/2. Flying. When Sower of Temptation enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature for as long as Sower of Temptation remains on the battlefield. Okay, I can steal a creature. Cool. Steal that commander. That's all it takes. Theoretical Duplication. 2 mana and a blue instant. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control this turn, create a token that's a copy of that creature. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, so I could copy my opponent's creature that they cast. Alright. Kindred Dominance. 5 mana and 2 black. Sorcery. Choose a creature type. Destroy all creatures that aren't of the chosen type. Oh, okay. Fairy. Everything else goes. It's farewell. It's a farewell for creatures. Nightmare Unmaking. 3 mana and 2 black. Sorcery. Choose one. Exile each creature with power greater than the number of cards in your hand. Exile each creature with power less than the number of cards in your hand. It's very interesting. They got a lot of creature wipes here, but they got this whole choose one stipulations on it. Puppeteer Click. Puppeteer Click. 3 mana, 2 black, fairy wizard, flying. 3/2 creature. When Puppeteer Click enters the battlefield, put target creature card from an opponent's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It gains haste. At the beginning of your next end step, exile it. Persist. When this creature dies, if it had no... Okay, so it's got persist. When this creature dies, if it has no -1/-1 counters on it, returns to the battlefield under its control. Owner's control. The -1 counter on it. Interesting. Man, I'll have to think about that for my Satu deck. Being able to steal a creature card from my opponent's graveyard after ninjutsuing it. Next up is Rankle, Master of Pranks, 2 mana, 2 black. Legendary creature, fairy rogue, flying haste. Whenever Rankle deals combat damage to a player, choose any number. Each player discards a card. Each player loses life and draws a card. Each player sacrifices a creature. 3/3. Okay. Thrilling Encore, 4 mana and a black instant. Put onto the battlefield under your control all creature cards in all graveyards that were put there from the battlefield this turn. Oh, that's nasty. Let's see here. This is Glen Elendra Liege. 1 mana, and either any combination of black and blue, 3 black, 3 blue, any combination of that. Creature, Fairy Knight, flying. Other blue creatures you control get +1/+1. Other black creatures you control get +1/+1. It targets all creatures of those 2 colors. 2, 3, not bad. It's not bad. That's pretty good. Nimrus, Omuna's Trickster, 3 mana, blue and a black, Fairy Knight, legendary. Flash flying. Whenever you cast your first spell during each opponent's turn, look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put one of those cards into your hand, the other into your graveyard. Ona, Queen of the Fae, 3 mana, and any combination of 3 blue blue and black, 3 blue and 3 black. Legendary creature, Fairy Wizard, flying, for X mana and either a blue or a black. Choose a color. Target opponent exiles the top 3 cards of the library. For each card of the chosen color exiled this way, create a 1/1 blue and black Fairy Rogue creature token with flying. Oh, okay. So if I make them exile 10 cards, then I get 10 fairy creature tokens. Okay. We're coming to the lands now. Choke Estuary, land. As Choke Estuary enters the battlefield, you may reveal an island or a swamp card from your hand. If you don't, the estuary enters the battlefield tap. You get tapped for a blue or a black. This is Darkwater Catacombs, land. For 1 mana and a tap, you can add a blue or a black and a black. Blue and a black. Exotic Orchid, tap, add 1 mana of any color that land an opponent controls could produce. I got a whole bunch of those. Secluded Glen. As Secluded Glen enters the battlefield, you may reveal a fairy card from your hand. If you don't, Secluded Glen enters the battlefield, tap for a blue or a black. Sunken Hollow, it's an island swamp, get tapped for blue or black. When it enters the battlefield, unless you control enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands. This one here is Temple of Deceit. Enters the battlefield tapped. When it enters the battlefield, scry 1, tap to add blue or black. Let's see. Mocking Sprite, 2 mana and a blue, Fairy Rogue, flying, instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. I love that. 2/1 flyer. We got this, another one of these weird adventure things here. Picklock Prankster, 1 mana and a blue, Fairy Rogue. Free the Fae for 1 mana and a blue, instant adventure, mill 4 cards, then put an instant sorcery or fairy card from among the milled cards into your hand. It has flying vigilance, 1/3 fly creature. Let's see here. Spell Stutter, 1 mana and a blue, instant, counter target spell unless its control pays 2, plus an additional one for each fairy you control. That is tight. That's a tight counter spell there. I like that. They need to make more of these type of counter spells. They probably won't, because then they'll really overrun. Obira, Dreaming Duelist, a blue and a black. Legendary creature, Fairy Warrior, flash, flying. Whenever another fairy enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life. That is scary. Oh my gosh, that's actually scary. Alright. Spellscorn Coven, 3 mana and a black, Fairy Warlock. Take it back for 2 mana and a blue, instant venture. Return target spell to its owner's hand, then exile this card. You may cast a creature later from exile. Flying, when Spellscorn Coven enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card. Interesting. This is Arcane Denial, 1 mana and a blue, instant. That's a nice art. Creature counter target spell. Its controller may draw up to 2 cards at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. You draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. It's a little hug there. It's a bit of a hug. Who likes hugs? Let's see. This one is Cloud of Fairies. 1 mana and a blue, fairy. When flying, when the cloud enters the battlefield, untap up to 2 lands, cycling 2. For 2 mana and discard this card, you draw a card. That's not bad. You get lands back. You get lands back when you play. Yeah, well, you get your 2 lands that you spent, or basically any land. That's actually that's pretty interesting. Consider 1 blue, instant, surveil 1. Look at the top card of your library. You may put that card into your graveyard. Draw a card. Not bad. That's cool. Distant Melody, 3 mana in a blue. Sorcery, create, choose a creature type. Draw a card for each permanent you control of that type. I'm getting a lot of draw cards. Oh yes, here's the classic, everyone's favorite, Fact or Fiction, the instant winner. 3 mana in a blue, instant. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library. An opponent separates those cards into 2 piles. Put 1 pile into your hand and the other into your graveyard. Then I Felden's Cane it back into my deck. Fairy Seer, blue. Creature, fairy, wizard, flying. When Fairy Seer enters the battlefield, scry 2. 1/1 creature. Frantic Search, 2 mana blue, instant, draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards, up to untap up to 3 lands. That's actually pretty good. That's actually pretty good. Yeah, okay. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Hypnotic Sprite, 2 blue, fairy. Mesmeric Glare, for 2 mana in a blue, instant adventure. Counter target spell with mana value 3 or less. Then exile this card. You may cast this creature later from exile. Flying 2/1 creature. Keep Watch. For 2 mana in a blue, instant, draw a card for each attacking creature. Oh, wow. Okay. Night Veil Sprite. 1 mana in a blue, fairy rogue. Flying. Whenever Night Veil Sprite attacks, they veil 1. It's a 1/2 creature. I got another one of these. It's not a bad card, actually. For 1 mana, scry 1, draw a card, instant. That's it. Such a straightforward card. Really like it. Quickling, 1 mana in a blue, fairy rogue, flash, flying. When Quickling enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless you return another creature you control to its owner's hand. A 2/2 creature. I don't like that drawback, and that is not going to see any type of deck. Reality Shift, 1 mana in the blue, instant. Exile target creature, its controller manifests the top card of their library. The heck does that mean? That player puts the top card of their library onto the battlefield face down as a 2/2 creature. If it's a creature card, it can be turned face up anytime for its mana cost. Oh, okay. So if I wanted to, if it's a land card, I can make it a 2/2 creature. But I can't flip it face up because it's not a creature, but underneath. But if I happen to have, say, what would be a good card? The Walking Skyscraper, which is 8 mana. Then I spend the 8 mana and I could flip it over for its mana cost. There we go. And that's how Manifest works. Okay, that makes sense. That's interesting. So it's basically an alternative morph. Reconnaissance Mission, 2 mana and 2 blue, enchantment. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to the player, you may draw a card. Cycling 2, that is an excellent card. That's an excellent card. Just attack and you get to draw a card. Deal damage. I mean, you deal damage and you get it. Repulse, 2 mana and a blue, instant. Return target creature to its owner's hand. Draw a card. Next up is Runaway Together, 1 mana and a blue. Okay, that's funny. The artwork is funny. Runaway Together, 1 mana and a blue, instant. Choose 2 target creatures controlled by different players. Return those creatures to their owner's hands. Snap, 1 mana and a blue, instant. Return target creature to its owner's hand. Untap up to 2 lands. That's pretty powerful for 1 mana and a blue. It's a boomerang with a land untap. Reckless Spite, 1 mana and 2 black, instant. Destroy 2 target non-black creatures. Lose 5 life. Okay. I don't know how to feel about that. Halo Forager, 1 mana, blue and a black, fairy rogue, flying. When Halo Forager enters the battlefield, you may pay X. When you do, you may cast target instant or sorcery card with mana value X from a graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that spell would be put into a graveyard, exile it instead. 3/1 creature. So basically, it's a flashback. It's kind of like a flashback with extra steps. Everyone's favorite staple. Arcane Signet, 2 mana, artifact, tap for 1 mana of any of your commander's identity, color identity. Demir Signet, 2 mana, artifact. For 1 mana and a tap, you get a blue and a black. Fell War Stone for 2 mana artifact. Tap, add 1 mana of any color that a land an opponent controls could produce. Mind Stone, a classic from the days of Tempest. 2 mana artifact. Tap for generic mana. 1 mana and a tap. Sacrifice the stone. Draw a card. I like that they stuck with the classic artwork from Tempest. Sol Ring, everybody's favorite staple. A 99% insert rate. 1 mana artifact. Tap for 2 generic mana. You gotta have a good reason not to have Sol Ring in your commander decks. A dang good reason. Talisman of Dominance, 2 mana artifact. Tap to add a generic mana. Tap to add a blue and a black. Then Talisman deals 1 damage to you. Wayfarer's Bauble. This is probably like the 3rd one I got now. Wayfarer's Bauble, 1 mana artifact. 2 mana tap. Sacrifice the Bauble. Search your library for a basic land. Put that card onto the battlefield. Tap, then shuffle. And we got some more lands here. Bokujukabog. Bojukabog. Bojukabog. It's a weird way. It's pretty cool. This is a pretty cool cool card. It enters the battlefield. Tap. When it enters the battlefield, exile target player's graveyard. Tap for black. Command Tower, another most needed staple. Tap to add 1 mana of any color of the commander's identity. Let's see, Demir Aqueduct. Land and enters the battlefield. Tap. When it enters the battlefield, return a land you control to its owner's hand. Tap to add a blue and a black. Wonder what happens if you don't return a land when you play it. I guess it gets destroyed or something. Fairy Conclave. Enters the battlefield. Tap. Tap for a blue. 1 mana and a blue. Conclave becomes a 2/1 blue fairy creature token with flying. Until end of turn, it's still a land. I might add that to my ninja deck. To go alongside that bog. Myriad Landscape. This is a good one. Myriad Landscape enters the battlefield. Tap. Tap for generic mana. 2 mana a tap. And the Myriad and sacrifice the landscape. And you can search your library for up to 2 basic land cards that share a land type and put them onto the battlefield. Tap. I really like the Myriad Landscape. I really love it. It's a damn good card. Path of Ancestry, a very hard card to get for these days for me. Enter the battlefield. Tap. Tap for mana and add 1 mana of any color of your commander's identity. When the mana is spent to cast a creature spell that shares a creature type with the commander, scry 1. I gotta remember to do that whenever I play Path of Ancestry. I always forget to do that. Tainted Isle. Tap for generic mana. Tap for blue or black. Activate only if you control a swamp. And Temple of the False Gods. Oh, this is a different art here. Tap for 2 generic mana. Activate only if you control 5 or more lands, which won't be a problem, especially since it's any lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Here are the islands. We got a whole bunch of islands. This is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 islands. That's actually not bad. There's 13 islands. And we have, I think, 12 swamps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep. Here's the here are the 12 swamps. Okay. And here's some tokens. We got the Fairy Rogue on one side and Pirate on the other. Let's see here. So I got multiple copies of these Fairy Rogues with the oh, and then I got this one here, this other fairy. So I got the 2 pirates on one side, 2 fairies on the other. They got some multiple Fairy Rogues here. Here's another. These are all Fairy Rogues. Oh my god. So on one side they're all Fairy Rogues, as you can see here, and then when I flip them over, I got 5 regular fairies and 2 copies. Alright. There we go. And of course, the turn phase. So that's what's what's in this deck here. Very interesting. Let me move these tokens to the side. And let me get my commander here. Okay. I'll move this back a little bit more. And shift this to the side because now we're going to go into the analytics. We're going to start breaking down this whole deck, and we're going to find out how this puppy ticks. Because from what it looks like here, this deck really loves to manipulate fairies, create copies, make tokens. It definitely has a good card drawing mechanisms. I think this thing is gonna turn out to be a good precon. All right, here's Tegel, Duke of Splendor. Let's start with the lands. How many lands do we have in total? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16. So that's 36, but I came across some land down here. So there's a lot of land in this deck here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Yeah, this is a heck of a lot of lands here. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. No, here we go. 19. Sorry, these guys got stuck in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 39 lands. So the number of lands is 39. We got 39 total lands here. All right. 39 total lands. All right. Creatures. How many creatures do we have? We got 1 for the commander. Let me just put that there. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, creature. All right. We'll get a full count soon enough. Oh no, don't go down there. Oh no. Saved. It's saved. Here we go, Fairy Rogue. I'm kind of surprised that there's a lot of fairies in black. I would have thought that fairies would be in green, because they tend to be like usually in fairy tales associated with being forced creatures, you know, in fairy tales and such. So seeing a whole lot in a lot of these in black is interesting. I guess they're going for the real hardcore Grimm's Brother depictions of fairies, those old school styles where they were really nasty. In those ancient medieval days. All right. So how many creatures do we have in this deck here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. We got 28 creatures, 29 including the commander. So let's put 29 there. All right. Enchantments. How many enchantments do we have here? Let's see. I didn't see a lot of enchantments, all things considered. This is very instant heavy. And I think the instants are relying on the enchantments for synergy. Yeah, that's it. Really? Just 2 enchantments? I better double check here. That's very interesting. Yeah, this is a very instant heavy deck. So, yeah, only 2 enchantments. Only 2 enchantments. That's very interesting. Sorcery. Sorcery. Alright. There we go. let's see, sorcery. All right, so there's only 4 sorcery cards. All right, 4 sorcery cards. So this is definitely an instant heavy deck here. So how many instants do we have? Instant. All right. So other than those cards that have the adventure type, which are inside the creatures themselves, this deck really loves to manipulate instants here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And I noticed there's more blue than black in here. So it's really exploiting everything that blue can do. Artifacts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 artifacts. There's no miscellaneous. I mean, I don't know if I should count those 3 adventure cards, because I still don't know how the adventure cards really function. Oh, you know what? Since they're a creature type, they are a type of card. Adventure. I'll just make note of that. I'll just make sure it's noted that they are adventure. Adventure types. Actually, no, because they're instants, right? Then what I should do is 0, but under instant, I should increase that to 20 and note that it's adventure. There we go. 3 adventure for this deck. Not that it's gonna matter. I'm not gonna play adventure because I have no freaking idea how that works. I mean, sure, I could look it up, read it, and everything, but I don't think it's gonna grab me. All right, mana ability cards. These are cards with the tap symbol, or have abilities similarly phrased, like Wild Growth. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we're talking mana speed here. Cards that have mana speed, the fastest speed in all Magic. Here we go. This taps. Tap. Enter the battlefield during the nope, not you. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna put these right here in front of all of you. Here we go. This could add mana. This one searches, add mana. There we go. Cast this. Stay over there. Stay. You will not dominate me. Let's see here. Cast a spell only during the declared blocker step. Nope. Delve, counter, surveil. Exile. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's see. We're almost there. Fine. This is no. They don't gain. I'm surprised there aren't many mana dorks here, like from black. Because Black does have some mana dorks. That's very interesting. Create creature. Alright. Tap. Yep, tap. Tap. And tap. So here we go. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So basically all the lands can tap for mana at mana speed. So we can say 39. None of them have other types of abilities that don't do that. And we don't have any creatures that can tap for mana. There's no mana dorks. There's no enchantments either. artifacts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 artifacts. Could tap for mana. Alright, time for the mana curve. Let's get the mana curve in. Alright, so 0 mana, there aren't any. So we're going to move over to 1s. We got the Sol Ring. Let's see, who else can tap for 1? What is this? This is all lands here? Alright, could put all the lands here for now. Alright. Who else can tap for 1? Where's Opt at? He has Fairy Seer. Alright. Let's see. Fairy Seer, Fairy Seer, Fairy Seer. Here's Consider. Here's Opt. Well, we're gonna see. It looks like blue's gonna skyrocket, like really go up high. Here's Wayfarer's Bauble. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 cards on 1 mana. So let's add that up. Add that up. All right. Yeah, what y'all thinking so far about this pre-con deck? It looks pretty solid so far. Move a few, swap out a few cards for some heavy creatures, and I think it'll hit the spot. Let's see. We got some Tues here. 2 mana, 2 mana, 2 mana, 2 mana. There's a pretty dang good fairies going on in here. They're really nothing to sneeze at. They got some synergetic properties that are actually tight. And there's three fairies, which includes the commander, that can really make fairies very powerful. Those +1/+1 buffs. And that makes it even scarier because they're all flying type. Of course, green has the ability to blow them away with cards like Hurricane. Okay, and here's all these Tues here. So how many Tues do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16. So that's a big jump from 1 to 16 here. Let's throw that on up. There we go. That's a big jump. Alright, next up is 3 mana, which includes the commander. 3. Let's see here. Man, it's a good chunk of 3 mana cards here. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So there's 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So there's 15 cards that have 3 mana, which includes the commander. Here we go. CO, and that's where our commander is at, right there on the 3s. All right, next up is 4 mana. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9, 10. So there's 10 of these. Uh-oh. What just happened there? Alright. 10. There we go. So, yeah, this is a very interesting mana curve that it spikes up very rapidly from 1 to 2, and then it starts slowly descending down, downward. Oh, I missed this one. Sorry, that makes it 11. How did I miss you? Okay. No big deal. Anything else? Any other ones I missed? No. Okay. 5 mana. Alright. 5, 5, 5. Let me double check here. That's 7, 6, 7, 7, 8, 6. Okay. Okay. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 5 mana cards. Okay. So this is a pretty healthy mana curve here, all things considered. 6 and 6. There's no valleys going on here. There's only 2 6s, and then it just drops completely down between 5 and 6. The heavy hitting cards here. 7, 7. Oh, this is interesting. Am I reading this right? Oh, we got a valley here. We got a mini valley. Here we go. We got ourselves a mini valley. And then the 8 mana, yeah, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I read that right. So it goes, makes a mini valley there. But I guess it's negligible because the total number of 1 mana and 2 mana cards are, of 2 mana cards and 3 mana cards are very extreme. And considering that the majority of the fairy cards that, the majority of the mana cards, the majority of them, only require 1 mana. If that makes sense, they require just 1 mana to be able to to pay for the cost to cast. You know what I'm saying? So so I guess 6, 7, and 8 mana is negligible. It's a negligible number to have. It's not gonna have a profound impact in this sense here. All right, let's move on to the power meter. Let's move on to the power and toughness meter here and see what kind of creatures we got going on, because this is some crazy stuff here. Okay, line those up. Alright, we're almost there. Almost got all the creatures sorted out. Here we go. Alright, let's see. We're going to start with, if we scroll down here. Alright, power meter zeros. We got 0 creatures here. We got a creature that's 0, 0. To open up. Here we go. Malleable Imposter is a 0, 0 creature. So I will, what are my colors again? Orange and, oh no, yellow and blue, sorry. It's yellow and blue. Alright. Yellow and blue. Alright. I only have one card that does, that has these colors. And that's it. Alright, so just to jump ahead so I don't have to rehash this card. I don't have to rehash this card. So let's look for all these one power cards. One. Yep. Noticing a lot of 2 power here. Here we go. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We got 6 cards with power 1. Okay. Next up is power 2. So let's see here. Ooh, got a good chunk of 2 power here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, I'm gonna have to stretch that one out. But here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I was right. There was a good chunk of that. Let's oh. There we go. Let's fix that up. All right. Let's first do this. Okay. And now I gotta do this the hard way. Split the cells. 1, 1. But at least it's not like Morska's Precon, which had 15 2 power. Oh my gosh, that was a nightmare. The Precon, Morska's Precon deck. But at least here, it's only 1. All right. Next up is 3 power. Okay, so time for 3 power. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh. There we go. Oh, that's it. Oh wow. All right. Looks like that's it. Man. Yeah, looks like that's it. Alright, I thought there were more creatures. Man, they didn't really give a lot of creatures, or at least it feels like not a lot of creatures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go. So there's 5 3 power creatures. Okay. Here we go. 4 and 5. I also didn't include the commander for power 2. That means that there's 12. Okay, next up is 4. There's only 2 creatures with 4 power. Okay. And 2 creatures with 5 power and 1 creature with 7 power. There we go. So this doesn't even have a 6 power creature. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, I blinded everybody with yellow. Hold on. There we go. That's a little better. So yeah, as you can see in the power meter, there's a valley also on the top end there of power. Interesting. Only 1/7. It's very well, considering how cheap they are to drop. Many of these fairies are to drop. That's why there's so many 2 power fairies, including the commander itself, which makes it 12. So there's 12 creatures with 2 power. So it's not relying on like that one beefy creature to win you the game. It's expecting you to build an army. So that's very fascinating. This is a fairy army deck, so this makes a lot of sense. Alright, time for toughness. It's time for toughness, so we're going to do 1 toughness. Okay. How good is the defense? I can move that over there. Well, I could put it back here because he's a 7/0/0 creature. So we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 creatures that have 1 toughness. As you can see here, which creatures got it. So I'm going to increase that. So that's an interesting start there to have. Next up is 2 toughness. Let's see what kind of 2 toughness we got going here. Alright, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Also 8. So there's 8 creatures with 2 toughness. Okay, so that's very interesting. It's very interesting. This is definitely designed to be like a stompy or a weenie type of deck, like a two creature deck. But the other reason why I say it's interesting is because there's because in Carlos Manor there are cards, especially in blue, where if you have creatures with 2 power, they actually can trigger effects and such. So having so many of these 2 blue creatures is very interesting. Let's see, power toughness 3. So that's 1 so far. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Including the commander. Here we go. These are the 5 that. Here we go. These are the creatures that have 3 toughness. And yeah, here we go. Okay, so 3 toughness. So now that so now we got a bit of a quick drop here, from 8 cards to 5 cards. Okay, 4 toughness. There's only 3, 4. Oh, okay. All right, so there's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. So there's 4 creatures with toughness 4. So there are some defensive measures here when it comes to physical combat. There's only 1 creature with 5 toughness. Okay. 1 creature with 5 toughness. 1 creature with 6 toughness. And once again, we get another valley. 1 creature with 8 toughness. So it seems to be very even, well, near even on the top end here, between toughness and power. As you can see here, they got the little valley going, but they got this little valley, but it spreads out in terms of 5 and 6 toughness, as opposed to here where it's spread out with the power meter between 4 and 5 at 2 each. The peak really skyrockets up by 8 points here for 1 and 2 toughness, and then it starts steadily dropping down until it bottoms out to 5. Whereas on the power meter, it shoots right up for 1 power, and then shoots up again for 2 power, and then it takes a sudden drop, and yeah, and it goes all the way down to makes its way down to the bottom. There's no steadiness, so this is actually, this may not be too. It looks like it's leaning more on the defensive side, and it wants you to build an army. Since fairies are flyers, it's not relying on bringing out heavy hitters. The way this precon is designed, it looks like what they're trying to do, what they wanted to do is for you to build an army, because there are fairies that can create fairy tokens, as well as copy cards, especially creatures. So basically, it's not intended for you to come out with that ultimate kill monster. You're supposed to lay out a whole bunch, and they're giving you combat defense with these 4 toughness and 3 toughness, just so you can be able to get some good blocks off on the combat side. So this is a very creature intensive deck here. Let's see our tactical. Let's see how the tactical is going to do here. So draw, I could definitely see this getting a high draw count here. I've come across way too many draw cards here. These are cards that say draw a card, or draw 1 card, or draw X cards. If it's if it says draw, that's what's going into the draw resource. Let's see here. All right. Draw. Let's see. Nope, not that one. Is that that? Nope. Yeah, this is very draw heavy. So it really wants you to build that army, but with all this draw power. This has a lot of crazy draw power. Let's see here. Okay. Nope. Let me check the lands here. See if they got any draw power. Put that over there. Let's see. Interesting. Oh, this fell over. There we go. Oh, that's actually pretty good. Let's see how long that'll hold up. Let's see, that's a scry, that's a search. Let's see. So no land lets you search, lets you draw. I mean, this commander lets you draw. All right. Who else here can let me draw? Nope. Yep. Nope. You're gonna hear me saying yep and nope a lot sometimes. Okay. Oh no. Yeah. That counts. It's gotta say draw a card. Let's see. Almost there. Let's see. Nope, not you. Nope. Yes. Oh, okay. I should look for. I didn't think about that. I think there's a card that I got Gotta remember, cycling also counts. Let me see here. I know I saw a card, a land that cycles. Let's see. Wasn't there a land that cycled? Wait, there's no cycling land? I thought I saw a cycling land. Oh. Okay. No cycling land. I thought I had a land cycler. Interesting. Interesting. All right. Let's get the count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 cards. There are 13 cards that can draw. That can draw card. So let's see here. I'm gonna learn my lesson from before and just do this and say 13. There we go. Just put 13 on there instead of trying to stretch that out. All right. So next up is search. These are cards that say search. As in, you look through your deck and pull out a card. So here are the cards that let you draw. Cloud of Fairies, Rankle, Fairy Formation, Distant Melody, Repulse, Reconnaissance, Keep Watch. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Frantic Surge, Midnight Clock, Mind Stone, Arcane Denial, Opt, Reconsider, Consider. Also, Tagwell lets you draw. So that's 14 cards that let you draw a card. Let's correct that. All right. So let's look for search. Cards that say search. Let's see. All right. Let's look for that. Okay. Yeah, I'll just keep you right there in the center. Okay. Let's see. Reconnaissance. Draw a card. Nope. Okay, so these don't have the search capabilities. Nope, it doesn't. Alright, so let's see over here. Let's see. Pause a card. Nope. No. I'll put you to the side for a second. No. Nope. Okay. Interesting, there's not a lot of search cards here. Fetch lands or fetch cards. Not a lot of search cards here. Surveil. That's milling. Let's see. Oh, that's a discard. Let's see here. Whenever you cast. No. No, that's forcing them to exile. I'm gonna put that there. His hand. No, but that's going to be that's under removal. Let's see here. I'll put you here. Here we go. All right, we got Mirrored Landscape that lets you search. Nope. No. I'll put that to the side there. Interesting. So you're telling me there's only one card that lets you fetch for a land, lets you search for a land. I don't know. That's a good idea. I don't think that's a good for a deck to have there. Yeah. Yeah, that looks like that's the only card. Yeah, that seems to be the only card. Oh, no, Wayfarer's Bauble. There we go. So only two cards, Wayfarer's Bauble and Myriad Landscape. Those are the only two cards that'll let you search for land. So that's not good. That's not good. That's two search cards. Okay, so I'm guessing because of the mass card draw, being that there's 14 cards that can do that, they're banking on that to get you to the lands that you're looking for, which is very interesting. All right, let's look for some recover. These are cards that you get from the graveyard. They come right out of the graveyard. And there's actually a good chunk in here. Recovery. Alright, they come from the graveyard or from exile, and they go back to your deck, your hand, the battlefield, wherever it is. But if it's coming from exile or graveyard, which is your removal zones, that's recover. That's a recover card. So let's see here. No. 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 All right, we got one. So far we got one. No. 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 Wait. No. Let's see. No. 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 Nope, not this one or this one. Let's see. This one, because you could target yourself. Okay. No. No. Wow. No. No, that doesn't come back. Let's see. You may cast target instead of sorcery card with mana value X without paying its mana cost. Okay, here's another one. Okay. So it looks like there's only two cards that let you recover from exile or graveyard. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Why bother having recovery cards if you're only gonna do if you're only gonna put 2 in? Oh well. All right. Next up is top deck. Oh, sorry, 3 cards. 3 cards. Top deck. Top deck is cards like Scry, Surveil, cards like Brainstorm, anything that has those type of effects where they say look or reveal the top cards of your deck. That's top decking. That's a top deck ability. So we're going to round those up. Okay. So here's Surveil, Scry. Let's control me. Nope, not that one, not this one, not this one. That's nope, no, no, no. Okay, so the rest of these are draws here. So, and these 2 lands don't mean anything. Okay. Who else we got here? Who else we have here? Shapeshifter, just shape shifts. Okay. No, no. Nope. Return. No. No. Look at the top card of that player's library. Okay, that's an attack. That's an attack. This one is a counter. Let's see. No, no. Enter the battlefield, sacrifice it. Here's Surveil. Here's another Surveil. No. Let's see. Destroy. No, 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 no. Bozrukopog. No, that's exile. That's copying. That's copying. That's another exile. Interesting. You tell me there's only... I thought there was more than that in terms of top decking. There's a lot of removal. There is a heck of a lot of removal. Wow. Wow, so this is a very, very, very aggressive creature deck. This is very creature focused and it's very aggressive. Let's see here. No. See, like cards like Illusionist Gambit. Yeah, this is an extraordinarily aggressive, hyper aggressive. Like they want you to search for cards and get them out. Hey, you stay up there. All right, here we go. Here we go. Temple of Deceit Scries, Path of Entry Scries, Nimrus, Ominous Trickster. Lets you look at the top cards and you can put one on in your hand and the rest in the bottom of the library. Oh no, the rest into the graveyard. Fairy Seer Scry 2, Factor Fiction. Dig Through Time lets you look at the top 7 cards. Nightwell Sprite has Surveil. Opt has Scry and draw a card, and Consider has Surveil and draw a card, which is actually pretty amazing. So Consider and Opt, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. How many cards is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 cards that let you top deck. Okay, so that's 9 cards that top deck. So this is an aggressively fast creature deck. They want you to search, they want you to find, and then they want you to drop. That's That's what they want you to do with this here. That's why there's barely any search and barely any recovers. But definitely on the search side, there's only 2, because the draw cards in the top decking with Surveil and Scry will get you to your cards very, very, very quickly. So that makes perfect sense. This is a deck that wants you to search all out. Go all out with the search. So we're going to the removals. Alright. So the way removal works is that these are cards that will send cards to the location, to these particular zones, the graveyard, exile, hand, and deck, that get removed from the field. So so these are the cards that go in these 4 directions, these 4 cardinal directions that they're going. So we're going to start with to the graveyard. Cards that go to the graveyard, which would also include counterspelling, destroy, that kind of stuff here. Let's see here. Okay. Nope. 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 All right. Here we go. We got this one here. Reality Shift, Exile. Nope, not this one. Not this one. Let's see. Maybe, nope. This one is Reckless Spite. Destroy 2 creatures. Okay. Nope. We could put 2 there. Nope. Nope. Here we go. Another destroy all creatures. Let's see here. No. 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 Yeah, okay. You go over here. You go here. Very fascinating. No. Alright, that goes there. Alright, that's a counter. Here's a counter. Nope. Let's see, Shroud. Here's another counter. Nope. You go here. Nope. Nope. No. Well, that's kind of it. Alright. Okay. This is counter. Alright. Gain control. Nope. No, that's just a trick play there. Possible. I mean, who would want to do it? But still. Let's see here. Okay, this one destroys cards. Let's see. That goes here. Alright. Yeah. Oh, and there. So, here we go. What do we have that sends cards to the graveyard? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of those. Arcane Denial, Rankle, the Archmage, Hypnotic Sprite, Spell Stutter, Kindred Dominance, Reckless Bite, and Reality Shift. That's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so that's 8 cards that will send cards to the graveyard. 8. Alright. To exile, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's Bojukabog, Ona, Queen of the Fae, Nightmare Unmaking, and Blightwing Bandit. These will send cards to exile. So that's 4 total. Alright. Cards that'll go to the hand. That'll go to the hand. We got Repulse. Quickling when enter the battlefield. So you can. This one's a little. Borderline, but if you weren't. But because this deck has cards that let you control your opponent's creatures, you can send your opponent's creatures back when you bring Quickling into play. Return Brazen Borrower has Instant Adventure, Petty Theft, that can return permanent back to owner's hand. Then we got Hullbreaker Horror. If you happen to control your opponent's land, you can do Dimir Aqueduct and bounce it back. Don't know why, but but you can do it. Perplexing Test, Snap, and Runaway Together. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's another 8. And I didn't come across any cards that go to the deck. There we go. Oh, I'm picking the wrong colors here. Sorry. Wrong colors. It's supposed to be this one. There we go. Alright. And I didn't come across any card that goes that says return to your opponent's deck. So alright. So let's yeah, okay. Alright. So here's the assessment. This deck is about building an army of fairies. It's all about building an army of fairies. They made fairies easy to cast and drop. Many of there's a handful that can give you tokens. There are others that can copy other fairies, so you can make have multiple copies of fairies, as well as creating other types of creatures like temporary dragons or copying your opponent's creatures. Its power and toughness is a steady 2 twos, as you can see here, 2 powers and 2 toughnesses. That's very steady and very consistent with 3 powers and 3 toughness creatures, creatures that have that. So it's all about getting a good size army and swinging. So if you get like 5 flying fairies at 2/2, you can swing with those 5 and deal 10 damage to your opponent. So this is all about getting consistent damage off with all the tokens and everything combined. They give you some heavy hit, couple of heavy hitters for blockage or the assist. There's very little searching, but the drawing is where it makes up for it, because it's not so much about drawing out the lands. It's not about drawing out the lands. It's about getting the fairies into your hand so you could drop them. So that's why there's so many draw cards. This is a very draw heavy deck. They even have top decking capabilities similar to Brainstorm. Got cards like Surveil and Scry, so that we could go through the whole thing. It's not very reliant on recover, so expect to lose your creatures for good with this pre-con deck. There's a good steady set of removal cards here, setting to the graveyard, to exile, and to your opponent's hand. So you can definitely get your board clearance going, and your army can swing hard. So you have multiple ways of getting rid of any flying blockers that your opponent may have. So your fairies can fly over your opponent's heads and hit them good. The mana curve is very healthy. There's a very healthy mana curve here. It's very consistent on 2s and 3s. It kept the high costing ones very low, even though there's a little valley here. There's a little valley going on here, but those 6s are kind of like last minute measures. The fact that there's no mana dorks or any enchantments that can generate mana. My suggestion, if you want to modify a precon deck, if you're playing any tournaments where you can modify your precon deck, get yourself some mana dorks and some enchantment mana rocks in there, mana abilities. I don't see the reason for having the adventure type card. I think that's just to present a feature for demonstration purposes. You could get rid of them if they don't have any purpose, and you could replace them with some mana ability cards to compensate. I would suggest that if you want to tinker with the precon deck, or if you're in the tournament or some type, yeah, definitely get rid of the 3 adventures and replace them with creature enchantments if you're allowed to. Get some creature enchanted mana spewing things there. The lands are actually solid. The lands are very solid. I think 39 might be too much. But I don't think it's a deal breaker to have that much anyway, considering the lack of fetch lands and mana generators. So I would suggest getting some more fetch lands like Terramorphic Expanse, if you're in it. So overall, this is it's pretty decent. This is pretty solid. This is a pretty solid build. It's got its tactics is very, very, very obvious. It's really right there. It's very notable. This is an army fairy deck, a fairy army deck. Alright, it wants you to get the fairies out fast, and it wants you to start swinging with those flyers without hesitation. So that's not bad. This is a pretty good deck. This is a pretty good deck. It doesn't look like it needs that much overhaul if you want to make it solid or anything. Alright, so that is Fae Dominion precon deck. Pretty good blue-black. Pretty good blue-black deck there. The fairy theme is very well articulated, and the strategy is very well laid out. It's very, very well laid out. So, thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for joining me. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe, follow. You know you want to. And until next time, I wish you all a good night, a buenas noches, and oy su mi na sai.